An Ingham County deputy is killed in an early morning chase. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Thompson. Tonight, friends, family members, and co-workers are mourning the loss of Ingham County Deputy Grant Whitaker after he was killed in the line of duty. Alexandra Illich has the latest.
Lauren, Ingham County Sheriff Gene Rigglesworth described this accident as devastating. He says 2 deputies were involved in the chase, one of them being Deputy Grant Whitaker, and that chase is what ultimately ended his life. Around 2 o'clock on Sunday morning, officials say Ingham County Deputy Grant Whitaker was traveling eastbound on Dexter Trail about a mile east of M52 at a very high speed, chasing a white SUV.
As a result of that chase, Deputy Grant Whitaker lost control of his vehicle. The vehicle slammed into a tree and he was killed at the scene.
The footage you see here is the extensive damage done to Deputy Whitaker's cruiser after slamming into the trees here on Dexter Trail.
While the news of the loss sunk in, and as Krista Lamandola learned, many deputies are putting on a brave face to continue the work Whitaker did best, serving Ingham County.
We do deeply care about our community, and Grant was one of those.
Flags at half-staff and black bands across their badges. It's a dark day for those working at the Ingham County Sheriff's Office after losing Deputy Grant Whitaker in a car crash Sunday morning.
We were prepared with the mechanics of it, but you're never prepared for the feelings and the emotion.
Michigan State Police and the Ingham County Sheriff's Department are still looking for the people who might know something or might be involved in a police chase that happened early Sunday morning that eventually led to the death of an Ingham County Sheriff's Deputy, Grant Whitaker. Our Nick Perot talked with a sheriff today, and Nick, what did he tell you?
Well, Jane, the last few hours, Sheriff Rigglesworth has been working with the Whitaker family. He traveled to Stockbridge this morning to finalize funeral arrangements. 25-year-old Grant Whitaker was chasing a light-colored SUV around 2 Sunday morning along Dexter Trail Road in eastern Ingham County. The driver was wanted for speeding and reckless driving. Whitaker eventually lost control and struck several trees. He died from those injuries.
We begin tonight by asking you to take a look at this SUV. It's not easy to see, and we'll try to get it a little bit clearer for you, but this is the vehicle a suspect was driving that started a chase early Sunday morning. Now, that chase ended in a crash that killed Ingham County Deputy Grant Whitaker.
The second half of a public visitation is set to begin for Grant Whitaker, the Ingham County Sheriff's Deputy who died earlier this week during a police chase in Stockbridge Township. The first visitation was held from 2 to 4 this afternoon at St. Mary Church in Chelsea. Another will begin in just about an hour. A funeral service will take place tomorrow morning at St. Mary's as well. Today's visitation is just one of many services that will be happening to remember Deputy Whitaker, fallen Deputy Grant Whitaker, after he was tragically killed in the line of duty after crashing into a tree Sunday morning. Tonight, many people are gathering at the Ingham County Sheriff's Office to remember him. That's where we find Alexandra Illich. She's there now and joins us live with more.
Sherry, you know, it's really amazing, and I want you to take a look. There are several people here right now to remember Deputy Grant Whitaker, who was killed Sunday morning. Now, we are near the Fallen Hero statue at Ingham County Sheriff's Department, and Sherry, I have to tell you, there aren't just Ingham County deputies out tonight. Michigan State Police are here, Lansing Police are here, East Lansing, Meridian Township, and many more. And after talking with many people who have worked with Deputy Whitaker, they remember him as a happy-go-lucky guy who always had a smile on his face, who died doing what he loved to do, which is serving our community. And Sherry, those memories are what will be reflected on tonight.
The Michigan State Police is leading the investigation into the death of Deputy Whitaker. We spoke with one of the investigators who says he's been getting tips in from the public.
Once we released the picture to the media and it was publicized, we definitely did notice an increase in tips, especially once we released the grainy photograph, which is the actual vehicle that we're looking for.
Tonight, many people gathered at the Ingham County Sheriff's Office in Mason to remember him. Alexandra Illich was there. She joins us now in studio to tell us more.
Sherry, like you said, many people were there this evening to honor Deputy Whitaker, and I have to tell you, every memory that was shared about him tonight really touched on the fact that he died doing what he loved. But not only were the brothers in Brown there to remember him, multiple law enforcement agencies, such as the Michigan State Police, Lansing Police, East Lansing, and many more, lit a candle in his memory as well.
Candles were lit and memories exchanged.
And we'd like you to take another look at the vehicle that officials say was involved in the crash that killed Deputy Whitaker. Michigan State Police currently reviewing this snapshot along with dash cam video and witness statements. If you know anything about this case, you're asked to call 517-331-5634.
Hundreds of people, including members of law enforcement from across the state, are in Chelsea right now paying their respects to an Ingham County deputy who lost his life in the line of duty. Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Deputy Grant Whitaker will be laid to rest today, less than a week after he died in a car accident. He was involved in a high-speed chase on Sunday when his patrol car left the road and hit a tree. His funeral is happening as we speak at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Chelsea. Hundreds are there in the church right now for the ceremony that started about an hour ago. Our Nick Perot stepped outside of the service for a moment to join us live at noon. And Nick, describe what you've seen so far.
Well, Siobhan, close to 100 agents, not officers, but agencies from local, county, and state levels over the last hour have been filing in here into St. Mary's Catholic Church in Chelsea to pay their respects to Deputy Grant Whitaker.
Friends, family, and law enforcement officers from across the state gathered to remember a fallen Ingham County deputy. Our Nick Perot was in Chelsea for his funeral. He spoke with two men dealing with the loss of a co-worker and brother.
We treat our fellow officers like brothers and sisters. We're a very close-knit profession.
Close-knit profession that gathered from all across the state to pay tribute to their fallen brother, 25-year-old Ingham County Deputy Grant Whitaker.
Law enforcement gathered from across the state for today's services, throwing a light on that special bond that exists in this close-knit community. Krista Lamondola joins us now in the studio with that part of the story. Krista?
Well, Jane, Deputy Whitaker was born and raised in Stockbridge. His family members were there at his funeral today, along with his police family, who came from all over the state to pay their respects. I spoke with some of them today who say no matter what, Deputy Whitaker will always be their brother.
It was a grand escort, more than 100 patrol cars in a funeral procession 2 miles long, all to make sure fallen Deputy Grant Whitaker made it safely home.
This is a 6 News special report.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this special report. I'm Sherry Jones. We are breaking in this afternoon to tell you about the charges against a man that police say is responsible for the chase that led to the death of Ingham County Sheriff's Deputy Grant Whitaker. We're going to take you now live to a press conference being held at the Michigan State Police headquarters in downtown Lansing. Let's listen in.
Ask questions, and at this time, I would like to invite Prosecutor Dunnings to the podium to speak. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to express my condolences to the family of Ingham County Sheriff's Deputy Grant Whitaker.
$1 million cash. That's how much money it would take for 34-year-old John Kelsey II to bond out of jail tonight. Kelsey is facing 2 felony charges after prosecutors say he refused to stop, leading Ingham County Deputy Grant Whitaker on a chase that ended with the crash that killed him. Now, this isn't the first time Kelsey has faced charges for something that happened on the roads. In fact, Kelsey's driving issues started almost 15 years ago. Our Nick Perot was there as the Ingham County prosecutor and the state police colonel made the announcement of the charges. Nick joins us now in studio for the latest on where the investigation stands tonight. Nick?
Well, good evening, Sherry. John Kelsey II faces 15 years behind bars for each of those 2 felony counts, fleeing and eluding an officer resulting in death and operating a vehicle on a suspended license causing death. Kelsey II was arrested Friday, and police are thanking the community tonight for the continued support over the last week.
Anytime an officer dies in the line of duty, the loss is not only felt by the law enforcement community, but the citizens they serve as well.
Today, law enforcement expressed thanks to that community who they say played a role in putting 34-year-old John Kelsey II behind bars.
We established a command center. We also opened a 24-hour tip line, and I will say that that tip line received hundreds of tips.